Very strange. What? What is that? So strange.
What is so strange, Casper?
No time to explain, my dear. Not time. I have to find Melchior and Balthazar. They need to know what I see in the sky. I just can't account for it. I just can't. Melchior!
I know that look in his eye. There's some mysterious sign to be interpreted. Again. See, my husband Casper is an astrologer. He watches the skies every night, tracking the stars as they move from season to season. That's Melchior he's gone to see. He too reads the stars. For them, the patterns the stars make are messages from the universe about what is to come in the future. The other man is Balthazar. He is always coming to our house for one reason or the other. He is a healer. He prepares medicines and tonics to treat illness, but he also listens to people's dreams. He interprets them and offers advice and guidance for the illness of the soul. There they go. Well, some big plan is no doubt afoot. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go find the wives of Melchior and Balthazar. They'll want to know what's going on.
This morning, we are going to tell an old story in a new way. In doing so, we celebrate that those who gathered here today spend many decades of life, a range of religious beliefs, and a depth of life experience. We celebrate the differences that provide this liberal religious community with rich texture. And we celebrate that which unites us, a choice guided by love on our terms. Did any of the names we just heard sound familiar to anyone? Casper, Melchior, Balthazar. These are the names that the Western Christian tradition has given to the three wise men, or magi, who are said in the Gospel of Matthew to have come to visit the baby Jesus shortly after his birth. No one knows what their names really were, of course. We do know that they really were magi, who were priests of an ancient Indo-Iranian religion of Zoroastrianism. During Roman times, when Jesus is said to have lived, these priests were recognized as physician astrologers who healed the sick, interpreted dreams, and cast horoscopes. They were considered to be wise men, very knowledgeable about this world and the stars. It's hard to know what's true about these magi. 2 of the 4 Gospels in the Christian New Testament tell stories of Jesus' birth. Only one of them, Matthew, mentions magi visiting Bethlehem. Since these figures are part of the Christmas story, this morning we're going to imagine the details ourselves. Let's begin by singing by singing a hymn about the wise men, number 259, We Three Kings of Orient Are. Please stand as you're willing and able to join us.
Star
stars must foretell something significant. Casper Heart has slept all night.
Some great event must be making itself known through dreams as well. Balthazar also slept very little. He paced the floor for hours and hours. He always does that when he's divining the message of the king.
I know they'll say they're too busy to explain to us.
I want to know their plans. Let's stand in the window and see if we can overhear their conversation.
Balthazar, as you can see, our studies in the night sky have convinced us that the birth of an important king is imminent.
I know very little of stars, gentlemen, but I had a powerful dream last night. There was a long road leading to a simple building, which glowed like a candle flame. I could hear the cries of an infant. The crying then gave way to beautiful song, as if the stars themselves were singing. I awoke from the dream with a strong conviction that these events will actually unfold and that I must travel to that place.
I too feel that the stars have been calling to me. We are being summoned to find this child.
How will we know which way to go?
The star itself is far to the west. We must travel there, nearly to the sea. I think possibly the hills of Judea. It may take many weeks to go so far.
Well, then we must go to the west. Who is this child, do you think?
Given the remarkable arrangement of stars, I'd say the baby will grow to be the leader of nations.
I'd say more likely to be a healer, with miraculous powers to make the sick and troubled well again.
With the golden aura to the room and the song of the stars, the baby we seek may well be a holy person who can speak to the gods.
We do not need to know the answers to that question at this moment. We need to only decide whether to follow the star signs. When shall we be ready to depart?
And what will we tell our wives? They won't be happy that we're making such a long journey without them.
Well, then they can come with us, as long as no one lets Tamina do the cooking.
How can they come with us? Why should they? There is no need for women to visit this child. Let us go alone, my brothers, and let us prepare to leave today. We will rest through the hot afternoon and then take our leave at sunset. The camels will carry us through the night as we follow the star.
I agree. I do think we should prepare gifts to take this important child, whoever he may grow to be. We will want to bring tokens of our honor and esteem.
You are right, Melchior. If the baby is a king in the making, the proper gift is gold. I will visit the temple today and select a golden crown to carry with us.
We don't know that the child will be a king. If he is a healer, the right gift ought to be one of myrrh to heal terrible wounds. I will prepare some jars immediately.
Friends, if the child is to be a holy man, the fitting gift would be the finest incense. I will bring frankincense, resin to perfume his robes and his hair.
It is an ancient story, a familiar one. Whether wise healers or ordinary people, sometimes we are called forward into a new journey. Many of us here know what it is like to be summoned beyond ourselves. When we arrive at a crossroads with possibility laid out before us and within us. Amid uncertainty, sometimes it is possible to receive fragments of guidance. A dream calls to us. A random turn of fate feels like a sign. The voice of wisdom speaks to us through another person. This is joy. To feel safe and confident as our lives unfold in a way that feels right. To take the path that rewards us. Our journey, however, can also lead to sorrow. When our hopes don't come to pass. When the universe's randomness seems to seek us out for ruin. When even our careful decisions lead to punishment. At these times, we need to be reminded of life's goodness. And the strength that others may lead. During this time of sharing our joys and sorrows, let us make room for the full breadth of our experiences, the tragedies, the sweet celebrations, and everything in between.
I'm going to offer some words of meditation now. Following them, we will have a moment of silence. break that silence by singing Spirit of Life, which is hymn number 123. Let us join our hearts and minds together in the spirit of meditation and prayer. May these moments of quiet lead us to the heart of the season, which is peace. May we breathe deeply of peace in this quiet place. Relax into its warmth. Know we are safe here, and let us open our hearts to this ancient story. Like Mary and Joseph, who wandered looking for a place to rest, may we find safety and comfort here where we gather together. Like the harried innkeeper, may we find ways to be of help to others, even when we feel stretched to our limits. Like the lumbering beasts, may we be silent witnesses to the unfathomable glory of life. Like the shepherds on the hill, may we know that we need never be afraid. Like the journeying wise ones, may we always have the courage to follow our stars. Like the angels, may we cry peace to a troubled world. To these prayers for our own transformation, we add our prayers for all of those who suffer and grieve this evening. May they find comfort. And we add our prayers for all those involved in war and conflict around the world. May they be safe. And may this season of peace and goodwill nudge our world towards peace, for then will Christmas truly dawn.
So that he might sleep soundly and let his mother rest.
I will bring a gift of fine fabrics and cured wool to weave a warm bunting for the child, to keep him warm through the cold nights.
And so our secret journey begins. We loaded bundles of supplies and waited until the twilight. We watched the men load their camels and strike out westward. As soon as they left, we women began our own journey. With our husbands visible on the horizon, thanks to the full light of a moon, we set out behind them.
As the Magi and their wives followed the star bringing gifts, let us consider what we bring to this community. How might we share ourselves with one another and with those outside of this room? How little would it take from each of us to form a significant enough gift to make a big difference in the life of another?
This is my wish for the world, that peace will find its way to every boy and girl. This is the time for harmony. Let love be the song that everybody sings. Fill the air with joyful noise. Ring the bells and raise your voice. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Lift your light, let it shine. Shine, shine, shine. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. I heard the sweetest sound, the sound of hope to come. Together we can bring goodwill to everyone. Let it start with you. Let it start with me. Let love be a song that everybody sings. Fill the air with joyful noise. Ring the bells and raise your voice. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Lift your light, let it shine. Shine, shine, shine. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Fill the air with joyful noise. Ring the bells and raise your voice. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Lift your light, let it shine. Shine, shine, shine. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth.
As the three men and the three wise men and women make their way towards Bethlehem, it is time for us to prepare the scene that they will find on their arrival. At this time, we are in need of some animals for the stable. Let's see, shepherds, sheep, and I guess that's it. Animals, shepherds, sheep. And I think we have a baby, right? Raise your hand if you would like to participate.
Like the Magi and the women in this story, maybe you set out on an uncertain journey at some time in your life. What was it like to be carried forward? Perhaps you were unsure where the journey would take you, or whether you would be strong enough to keep going. Maybe your journey led you to delightful roads, or delivered you somewhere very unexpected. Maybe reflect for a few moments on all the journeys that began in hope, and on which each was rewarded. Take some time to count the forks in that road that, once taken, led to happy discoveries and meaningful experiences. Know your own courage and strength, which you have shown in making these journeys. Remember the moments of peace profound that came to you when paths seemed risky. Ask yourself silently, what guided you forward? Recall the ways you have experienced the peace that passes understanding, the care that cares for all, moving through your life, guiding you, just as the stars guided the Magi to that stable in Bethlehem. May we rest in the confidence of changeless love, the holy love for each of us, our love for one another as members of a beloved community, the love that holds us to our commitments and carries us forward.
It is told in the Gospel of Luke that when Mary and Joseph came to Bethlehem and were put in the stable because there was no room at the inn, the time came for her baby to be born. She wrapped him in cloth and laid him in the manger. And there were shepherds living out in the fields, keeping watch over the flocks by night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and they were very afraid. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news and great joy that will be for all the world. Today in the city of David, a Savior is born, who is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign until you. You will find a child wrapped in cloth and lying in the manger." And then the cries of the angels become a heavenly hosting. The shepherds hurried to the stable where they knelt and adored the child. Not long after, the Magi appeared at the stable, perhaps followed by their wives, offering gifts.
The camels speak. These are the camels that came with the wise men and the wise women. Of course, they never consulted us. They were wise men, kings, star readers, and we were merely transportation. They loaded us with gifts and turned us toward the star, and I ask you, what would a king know of choosing gifts for a child? Had they ever seen a baby even born to such simple folks? So naked of pretension, so open to the wind. What would a child care for perfumes and gold? Far better to have asked one born in the desert, tested by wind and sand. We saw what he would need, the gift of perseverance, of continuing on the hard way, making do with what there is, living on what you have inside, the gift of holding up under a burden, of lifting another with grace, of kneeling to accept the weight of what you must bear. Our footsteps could have rocked him with the rhythm of the road, shown him comfort in a harsh land, the dignity of continually moving forward. But the wise men were not wise enough to ask. They simply left their trinkets and admired the rustic view. And before we knew it, we returned again towards home, carrying men only half willing to be amazed. But never mind. We saw the baby. We felt him reach for the bright tassels on our gear. We desert amblers have our ways of seeing what you miss. That child at heart knows something about following a star. Our gifts are given. Have no doubt. His life will bear the print of who we are.
We were amazed. We arrived at that humble stable, and what we found changed us. All of us knew something about making do with what is and accepting the weight of what must be borne. And in the eyes of that child, we saw that he knew it too. There was no question that he understood suffering, even at a few days old. I sensed somehow that his life would both relive the suffering of many and end in his own suffering. We were forever altered by this child and received blessings from him, even as we came to give our own gifts. And once all the other visitors had gone, the cow and the sheep and the donkeys were our only companions within the stable walls. We fortified the new parents with good food and prepared the family a comfortable bed. As the stars shone through the night, Mary and Joseph spoke the quiet language of love to their newborn child, cradling him and cooing to him as we all settled into sleep. And I then sung my lullaby.
and family members see the brightness that can come from the community we make together. As we depart, may we have faith in our own light, in our ability to light the way for one another as we journey on. May we rejoice in the triumph of light against the darkness. Rejoice in the many possibilities within each of us. Rejoice in the hope that the world can be a better and more peaceful place if only each of us will faithfully follow our star. Although we'll extinguish the candles as we leave, we will carry the light of this community in our hearts. Let us continue in fellowship.